Billy, this is for you, Steve. Billy has fabulous credit, he says, and you'll recognize this question. And in this email, he says he owns a $400,000 home, wants to sell, and then purchase an even bigger home. But he just heard, here we go, that the government is going to charge higher fees for people like him to help others with poor credit get approved. He says, what is going on with this country? Is that true? So, Steve, lay it out.
Well, unfortunately, yes, it is true. Yeah, so it just started May 1st. And it is they're trying to help lower credit profile borrowers. When basically what that help means is real dollars. So they're going to decrease the amount of fees that a lower credit score borrower needs or has to pay. They're going to increase the fees a higher credit score borrower needs to pay, which is exactly opposite of what common sense should dictate.
Well, I got a question. I got a question about the common sense dictating and understanding. It's cool because to me, it's all perception, and we can build the perception however we want, right? Because I've heard this argument many times. But Steve, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Most people don't get to see that table of adjustments where, depending on credit scores, programs, how much money you're going to put down, all of those things affect your outcome and your normal payment. Correct?
No, absolutely.
So my theory and my question here is, why is everyone getting so up in arms? I get it. We're mad that we're helping people that are less than and cannot afford homes, that have had crappy credit scores for one reason or not access to another. Sounds like a terrible idea to help people get into homes, right? Obviously, I'm being facetious here. So the other side of it is, well, people don't even understand the rates and what different down payments they can get to adjust their mortgage payments. If they've got good credit, great, good for them. Don't ditch your credit. Don't go out and ruin your credit score to spite, because it doesn't mean that the people with lower credit scores are getting a better rate than you. The people with higher credit scores have always been getting a better rate than those people. And essentially what this is doing is leveling the playing field a little bit. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I mean, yeah, that was the whole design of this program, is exactly for those purposes. Yeah. Right. So certainly, the reason everybody's getting upset, not necessarily because they see those adjustments. You're right. Most buyers
they have no idea
that chart, but boy, it's in the news right now, so they have a reason to get up in the arms.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you.
And Greg, I was going to say, just because I can't tell you how much I'm getting screwed doesn't mean I'm not getting screwed. Okay, just put that out there. And secondly, you self-admit that that their credit is lower due to their actions. Why should I help out for that?
The question, Chuck, is, are you
going to lower my credit score? That's a bad idea. We agree on that.
Right. But is it the perception that it's costing you? Or is it just that the market conditions are so out of control? And we can go back to talking about what the Fed talked about on Wednesday and his whole, they want to get to 2%, and reminding everybody that we're still nowhere near 2%.
2% inflation rate. Right. Yeah.
So understanding the market and understanding, first off, inventory. Second off, we already talked about FHA loans not even being attractive. So most people in a conventional loan situation are going after FHA loans, correct?
No, I mean,
I'm not the one.
Sometimes it makes.
I'm looking at general. So my point being is, for the most people who are fortunate enough to continue to do business, they're not being affected nearly as much by this decision as they are the market, that is the actual market conditions that are forcing rates up to begin with. So when everyone wants to get up in arms, it's because they're watching the news and they don't know what to think, but they're not really asking the intelligent questions of, well, who is this really hurting? Am I hurting because I'm giving another person a better chance at affording? Because I know a lot of people who simply don't have access to credit. They've never had access to it. They don't have low credit scores because they've made bad choices. They've just never had access.
All right, this is only a half-hour show, so let me just speak on behalf of some people who might be saying, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, that this could be called the Robin Hood regulation, where you're taking from the rich and giving to the poor. And
it's political fodder is what it is.
Okay, whatever. Again, let's move on.
His heads to get them all riled up when there's really nothing affecting you. Look, here it is. Here's what it is. Ready? Let's turn everybody on each other while our government gets to take their hands on everything. And we're not pointing at them for being the problem. We're pointing at the poor people who didn't get a chance.
All right, we're moving on.